One of the most common questions I'm asked is, how do I have more confidence speaking English? How do I become a more confident English speaker? And it's quite a difficult question for me to answer because, yes, it's true that if you have a good grasp of English grammar, if you know many vocabulary words, if you understand the language well, you'll likely become more confident. You'll be able to express ideas in a number of different ways. You'll have more tools available to you. You'll be more flexible with the language. And that's great. That's excellent. But it's not everything, because think about it. There are people who know a lot of English in their mind. They know grammar really well. They know vocabulary really well. They have a great grasp of the English language, yet they feel incredibly nervous speaking English. They're just not confident speaking the language. And then on the other hand, there are those people who don't know grammar very well. They make grammatical errors all the time. They lack a great vocabulary, but they feel incredibly confident, and you can feel their confidence when they're speaking English. So the answer to this question is not entirely clear. To me, there seems to be two factors to this question. One is how you are approaching the task of studying English, how you are approaching learning English, what things are you doing. And the second factor is, what kind of relationship do you have with yourself? How are you treating yourself? So with that framework, I'm going to try and answer this question. I should say too, before we begin, that this is not an easy overnight fix. You're not going to watch this video and suddenly just like that have the answer to speaking English confidently. All of these things take hard work. And anyone who tells you that they have this quick fix, that if you do this one thing, you'll be a more confident English speaker, to me, I think that they're either being dishonest or that they're really confused or lack an understanding of what it means to suffer from a lack of confidence or suffer from anxiety. To me, it's much more a long-term process. So I'm not going to give you some fake quick solutions here. All of the things that I'm going to tell you take time, they take hard work, they take a lot of effort. But if you do them, if you practice them regularly, if you make these tips a part of your life, I think that with time you will experience a boost of confidence. You will become a more confident English speaker. That's enough of an introduction. Let's start. Now, the first tip is very, very obvious. You got to practice. You got to practice, study every single day. You can't expect to be confident as an English speaker if you're not studying English. Now, I'm talking about getting yourself into a routine, practicing every single day. Maybe that means for you listening to vocabulary while you're on your way to work on the bus, or listening to a podcast. Even on those days when you just feel like studying English is the last thing you want to do, find a way to do 20 minutes. Find a way to sit down, take out your books, listen to a podcast, watch a drama, do whatever, just do something. You want to be doing a little bit every single day. There's this great quote by Woody Allen, who of course is a famous comedian. He's written many movies, directed many movies. He's produced a lot of incredible work, and he's experienced an amazing amount of success in his life. And he once said that 80% of success is showing up. Showing up is a phrasal verb that in this case means to basically do what you planned to do what you want to do. 80% of success is just doing it. If you keep practicing, if you keep learning more and more and improving every day, you're going to improve as an English speaker. It will happen. It may not seem like it's happening all the time. You may go weeks or even months when you feel like you haven't improved at all, but it happens. It's just hard for us to recognize it sometimes. So you have to put in the work. My second tip, something that I always tell people, is to try and have a sense of humor. Learning a new language, you're inevitably going to make very silly mistakes. It's part of learning the language, and it can be very, very frustrating at times. It can make you want to pull your hair out. But if you are able to maintain a sense of humor, if you're able to laugh at yourself when you make stupid mistakes, you won't beat yourself up as much. You'll be able to laugh at yourself, enjoy all of the silly mistakes you make, and enjoy the process of learning something new. Try and laugh at yourself, try and smile, even when you make those embarrassing, silly mistakes. Usually those mistakes, they end up becoming great stories that you can look back at later and laugh about. Now, here are some tips that have to do with your relationship with yourself. Take care of yourself. That sounds easy, it sounds obvious, but it's amazing how often we forget to do the small things in our lives that make us feel good. So I'm talking about exercise. I'm talking about getting enough sleep. I'm talking about eating good food, drinking enough water every day. How often do we pay attention to the amount of water that we're drinking? All of these little things. And you know what works for you. You know what things you need to do in your life to be able to function as well as you can. All of us know what works for us. For some people, it's yoga. For other people, it's going for a walk or reading a book or going to bed an extra hour early, whatever it is. For me personally, it's going to the gym, working out, and making sure that I'm getting enough sleep. The truth is, if you're being kind to your body, if you're treating yourself well, you're going to feel better. If you're putting good things into your body, getting enough sleep, doing all of the things you need to do, you're just going to feel better. You won't really have to think about it that much. You'll just feel better. If you are struggling with confidence, if you're not a confident person, don't forget these fundamental things. Another very important one, be around good people. I saw a quote the other day, I don't know exactly where, but it was something like, it said, "We are the average of the 5 people who we spend most of our time with." Meaning you are the average, you kind of reflect the 5 people who you spend most of your time with. So take a second, think about the people who you see most often in your life, whoever it is, and think about the kind of relationship you have with them. Think about how they affect you. Do they make you feel good? Do they kind of lift you up? Or do they do the opposite? Do they bring you down? Are they a negative influence in your life? If you are surrounded by people who aren't the most positive people, who kind of have a negative impact on you, think about finding new people to spend time with. I'm not saying ditch your close friends. I'm not saying forget about everyone in your life. But try and meet people who bring you up. Try and be around people who make you feel good about yourself. Pay attention to the thoughts you are having. Listen to the things that you are telling yourself. I know often people who lack confidence, people who aren't feeling good about themselves, probably the number one thing that they are doing that's contributing to their problem is they are telling themselves all sorts of negative things. So for example, let's say you make a mistake. Well, okay, you made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. But what happens next, how you respond to that mistake, is incredibly important. Often we start yelling at ourselves in our own head. We start saying, "Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm so stupid. I can't believe I did this one thing." And it's like a broken record spinning around and around saying the same thing, when really, in reality, a lot of the time, the problem is a lot smaller than we make it out to be. In our head, it's this huge thing. In reality, it's probably just a small mistake. So I hope this video was a help to you if you are someone who is presently struggling with a lack of confidence, whether that's in regard to speaking English or just in life in general. I hope you found these tips helpful. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell notification, and you'll be notified whenever I release a new video or whenever I plan on going live. And you can show your support if you enjoyed this video by hitting the thumbs up button and telling me that you liked this video. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. See you later.